Born in Trenton, New Jersey, he would join the Army in 1959 and would become a fierce warrior, a part of the 5th Special Forces Group and MAC-V-SOG during the Vietnam War. He would run many missions across the fence into Laos, Cambodia, and even North Vietnam. This man's name is Fred Zabitosky, who would be awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions on February 19th, 1968. Sergeant First Class Zabitosky distinguished himself while serving as an assistant team leader of a 9-man Special Forces long-range reconnaissance patrol. Sergeant First Class Zabitosky's patrol was operating deep within enemy-controlled territory in Laos when they were attacked by a numerically superior North Vietnamese Army unit. Sergeant First Class Zabitosky rallied his team members, deployed them into defensive positions, and exposed himself to concentrated enemy automatic weapons fire. Directed their return fire. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Zabitosky ordered his patrol to move to a landing zone for a helicopter extraction, while he covered the withdrawal with rifle fire and grenades. Rejoining the patrol under increasing enemy pressure, he positioned each man in a tight perimeter defense and continually moved from man to man, encouraging them and controlling their defensive fire. Mainly due to his example, the outnumbered patrol maintained its precarious position until the arrival of tactical air support and a helicopter extraction team. As the rescue helicopters arrived, the determined North Vietnamese pressed their attack. Sergeant First Class Zabitosky repeatedly exposed himself to their fire to adjust suppressive helicopter gunship fire around the landing zone. After boarding one of the rescue helicopters, he positioned himself in the door, delivering fire on the enemy as the ship took off. The helicopter was engulfed in a hail of bullets, and Sergeant First Class Zabitosky was thrown from the craft as it spun out of control and crashed. Recovering consciousness, he ignored his extremely painful injuries and moved to the flaming wreckage. Heedless of the danger of exploding ordnance and fuel, he pulled the severely wounded pilot from the searing blaze and made repeated attempts to rescue his patrol members, but was driven back by the intense heat. Despite his serious burns and crushed ribs, he carried and dragged the unconscious pilot through a curtain of enemy fire to within 10 feet of a hovering rescue helicopter before collapsing. This was his Medal of Honor citation that would be read by President Richard Nixon during this time. Along with this, Fred would earn the Medal of Honor, obviously, for these courageous actions this day. In his military career, he would also earn a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart during his time in the Army. Fred would spend 30 years in the Army, retiring in 1989. He unfortunately didn't get to enjoy retirement far too long. Fred passed away at the age of 56 years old and is buried in Lumbee Memorial Park, a part of Lumberton, North Carolina.